Well, it's a super nice Thursday night at the range. A little blustery, but not bad. That'll settle right down in a minute. We're getting some targets ready here. Got a 100-yard official small bore rifle target, the TQ4. Put up on the communities tab of the YouTube channel that we've got a military shoot coming up here this weekend. You can vote for what rifle you want me to shoot. So let's see, do we got enough clothespins up here? One of the choices is 7x57 and the 1895 Chilean. So I don't even know that I've shot this thing at 100 yards before, and if I did, I don't even remember the load. So two of the choices on the list are no-brainers. We can very easily shoot the 1917 because the 1917 is dialed in and ready to go. We'll use Jordan's pin. Jordan, isn't one of Tin Man's daughters named Jordan? I don't know if it's spelled that way. What's this one? This one's plain. But we use Jordan's pin. Oh, here's Linda. We could use Linda's pin. And Marie. I like the name Marie. Marie's an awesome middle name. So anyway, I'll get the target pinned up here. I'm using a pizza box opened up here because I'm guessing that this, if I remember right, this 1895 Chilean shot a little high. So we'll start out at 100 yards, and if we got her pretty good, I don't have a lot of rounds, but I've got enough rounds that I should be able to get a reasonable pattern for it. We'll shoot it at 100 yards and see what we get on this target, and if everything looks pretty good, maybe we'll stretch it out. I've got the bigger targets here for the 200 yards, and we'll go from there. I still haven't gotten my truck really set up. I got rid of the van and got a truck, and I really don't have things arranged yet, so I'm kind of throwing things in and out depending on what I'm shooting. I need to get that figured out, but I'll get this thing hung up, check back in, and then we'll move back to 100 yards and see what we can do with that 1895 Chilean. And it's been on the channel before, mostly at close yardage, just fooling around with some cast bullets and stuff. So I know a lot of my viewers like 7x57, so we'll play with that a little bit today. And if the votes change and we end up taking the Chilean, at least I'll have some reference here. I've got today that I can shoot it, and I've got tomorrow that I can shoot it, then I've got practice time before the match on Saturday. So we can get it dialed in if the votes support it. But of the ones on the list, this is the one that I've run the least with this kind of shooting. Don't know if it'll group with the ammo that I've got, but we'll give it a try and see how it goes. I'll get the target hung up. Okay, that opened up pizza box ought to be big enough to cover if this thing is shooting high like some of my milsurps do. And we've got lots of ladies helping hold up the target. We've got Jordan up there. Jordan would stand on her head for me. And we've got Kathy down here. We've got Lindsay over here. Oh, we've got Brandy. You're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. Then we've got Linda. So let's move back and get set up on the 100-yard bench. I'm all set up at the 100-yard line. Got the 1895 Chilean out. You can see I've got my clamp on the bench, plywood auxiliary bench, because the ergonomics of these benches at the range are terrible. I think everybody on the channel has pretty much seen these. It's just a big piece of plywood that's the same shape as my shooting table. I just clamp it on with C-clamps and a piece of foam here to take up the elevation difference in the bench. Cheap plastic rest here works fine for these milsurps, but this 1895 is a decent rifle. I grabbed this one at a gun show a few years back. It's matching, but not really. I'm pretty sure that at least one number on it's been force matched. I think everything's legitimate except for the floor plate and probably the cleaning rod. If I remember correctly, this one actually has a matching number on the cleaning rod, which I'm not silly enough to believe. 2764 there. I don't see anything too goofy about that. The 6 is a little bit suspect, but it's not terrible. But you never see these with matching cleaning rods. They never match. This one does tend to loosen and migrate out as you shoot, so we'll probably have to reach up there and push it back in. I don't think I've taken this. I need to take this one out of the stock and give it a deep clean, but I just haven't gotten around to it. It's decent enough that I've just left it, but it could certainly use. I don't think I've taken this one down all the way like I usually do, but if we look at the bottom, we'll do this one-handed, and it's gonna be pretty clear to everybody that I'm relatively sure that they force matched that floor plate, because they didn't even fix the bluing. And if you look at that 4, the 4 is pretty suspect. It looks like there's a trace of something else below it, but I mean, the bluing's even all worn off there. It looks like it used to be something other than a 4, but I don't know why someone would waste their time faking a floor plate on a Chilean. They're not worth, even if the thing is numbers matching, it's not worth the time that it takes to even stamp one number on it. They are not expensive rifles. There's a lot of them out there that are quite nice, but I don't understand why people do stuff like that. But you know, this one looks like it may have been touched up with something on the receiver. It is nice and black, so chances are somebody's done some cleanup work on it, and it's too bad that they, you know, because the stock does match, and that looks legit to me. It's got a nice cartouche back here on the stock, so that's nice. That looks all legit. You know, it's got a nice crest on it, which most Chileans do. They didn't get the scrubbing treatment that the Argentines did typically, but yeah, it's a shame when people do stuff like that. I bought the rifle because it's a decent looking rifle, looked like a good shooter. If nothing else, it's good pieces and parts. The bolt does match, so that's cool. Cocking piece has the right number on it. The safety flag has the right number on it. Say the only one that really looks terribly, well, the 4 there looks like it's struck a little deep, but these were not perfect coming out of the factory. You know, a lot of those parts were probably struck by hand with a hammer, so it's possible that everything on it is legit other than the floor plate, but I'm pretty sure the floor plate has been force matched. They didn't even do a very good job disguising it. So I've shot this one a bit. I'm not sure I've ever shot it at 100 yards, and I'm pretty sure I've never shot it at 200 yards, but we'll give it a go today and see how it runs. And for ammo, I don't have anything fine-tuned for this rifle. This sleeve of ammo is some of my hand loads, but this was crafted for my Ruger 77, so we'll only shoot this if we need it, because this has been fired, and you know, it's been crafted for that other rifle, been fired in the other rifle, so I won't shoot these unless I need them to figure out what I'm trying to figure out here today. So we'll set those aside and know we have them in reserve. And then I have this box of factory Winchesters that I got from a friend. It's been around a few years. 145 grain power point. That does appear to be what's in the box. I've looked them over pretty closely. Again, I won't run these unless I need them. I didn't pay $25 for them. I bought a whole stack of 7x57 from a friend, probably 15 boxes, and it was at a very attractive price. So there's some Norma and some Hornady and a bunch of different stuff that's factory ammo that I grabbed, but we'll save that in case we need it later. But I do have this box of miscellaneous 7x57 that I was playing with in this rifle and in my 1912. So I do know what these are. These are 46 grains of IMR 4955, the Enderon powder. I probably won't spend a whole lot of time with load development on 4955. I have a partial pound at home, but that has been discontinued, so that's just a chew it up powder. We don't want to spend too much time on that. I know what these cast ones are here too, and then I've got data in the box for those. There were 13 of those originally, and that's 39.5 grains of reloader, 15 in these. I don't know what these are. These may be factory Remington round nose, and I think these were thrown in here for some testing and to use it up so I could liberate the brass. So we'll run this 150 grain load here at 100 yards, the 46 grains of 4955, and see how it prints, and then we can move on to these here if we want. Now this is loaded with the Lee bullet. The load data on that is on this second card here. That's the Lee 285-130 and a Herter's primer, and that's 11 grains of unique, which is pretty common in most of these standard size cases. So probably won't fool around with that too much today. We'll look at these jacketed ones here, see if this thing groups, where the point of impact is, what I need to change. I'm not going to run a target cam today. I'll just use the spotting scope and look at the shots and go from there. So get my ears on and we'll give it a try. Okay, I've got a setup here. Everything looking pretty good. The only challenge is that the wind is blowing. You're gonna get wind noise. There's not much I can do about that. I'm filming with an iPhone. I don't have an external microphone. I should probably invest in something like that. We'll start out with this 150 grain bullet. I don't know what the bullet is. It's some sort of a soft point. 150 grains, 46 grains of IMR 4955. It's a Herder's large rifle primer, some old ones that I picked up quite some time ago. I'm still chewing them up. And very light factory crimp die, just seated to the cantilever. Nothing really technical about it, just pretty much set up real basic. We're at 100 yards, you saw the target. 1895 Chilean, we'll just go with the battle sight setting the way it is right now. If I remember right, this shot a little bit high. Let's hope it's on my pizza box, and I know I'll go with the 6 o'clock hold just because especially since I know it's gonna shoot a little high, or I think it will, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'll get my notes started here. 1895 Chilean. It's the 150 grain 4955. I think I might have said 4166 a minute ago. That was a slip. It's 4955, another one of the Enderon powders. 2021 1030 12. Huh. Or 1030. Yeah. Ordered those on Devil's Night. Whoa. 2021 Devil's Night, October 30th. I hope they shoot like the devil. We'll see how it goes here at 100 and adjust from there. See if this is viable to move back or not. If it is, I'll have to get busy and load some more ammo because I don't have much of this. I think I have more of these bullets, but spotting scope here. Let's just do a function check on the rifle here. I haven't shot it in a while. Safety on, that's good. Safety off. Typical dual stage military trigger. I don't know if you can see, but there's the take up, there's the wall. It's firm, but it's crisp. I think it'll shoot fine. Like I said, we're just running the cheap plastic rest just to be simple here. Sling swivel's in the way, but we'll just have to live with that. Let's chamber one up and see what we get. Let's just take a quick peek down the bore there. It looks fine. I pulled it out of the case, but I didn't clean it or anything. Typical small ring Mauser, cock on close. All right, let's shoot them, see what we get. New glasses last week. Front sight looks really good. The eye doctor did a good job. That front sight is right there and looking good. Well, judging by the dust, it should be somewhere close. That all looks just fine. Check out the spot and scope. High and right, it's towards the top of the paper. Pretty much what I expected as far as the elevation, even with the 6 o'clock hold. I'm not going to change anything. I want to see if it's grouping. More about the group than the point of impact. We're sitting towards the top of the paper at about 1 o'clock, right up in the words on the paper. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 rings, so that's roughly 6 inches, about 7 inches high, and 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 inches to the right. I say I'll run the same 6 o'clock hold, see where this prints. If it warrants drifting sights or whatnot, we'll see. But the main thing is, I haven't shot this rifle enough to even know if it's happy or not. So we'll just shoot a couple more and see how it goes. decent looking brass. Let's get the surprise and see what it is. It's right next to it. It's less than an inch away. It's, I think it's just below it. It's just below it, less than an inch away from it, and maybe a 1/4 inch or a 3/8 of an inch to the left. So, you know, they're kind of like this right at the top of the paper. So that's promising. It put two of them in a real nice spot. So that's a good start. Take my notes here. Number 1 was 1 o'clock. Let's see. Just out at 1 o'clock. Number 2 is just out at 1, but it's closer. Yeah, if that's going to shoot like that, you know, we'll obviously need to do more to know, but based on the first 2, if it's going to shoot like that, I'll make a sight adjustment and go from there. There's not much I can do with the elevation. Let's just kind of guess here. If I look at the V notch on the battle sight setting, it's you know, roughly an 1/8 of an inch above the trench there. The lowest setting there is roughly the same, so running the ladder is not going to be any help at all. So we'll give it another try here. Let's try one out of the mag. Feeds great. It's a super smooth rifle. All right, let's see if I can get another one in that same group there. That would be nice. Be a good start. And again, the brass looks real nice. This was annealed, so you can see the discoloration in the brass. A lot of this stuff was pretty much just put together because you come up with all of this brass from here and there and the other, so you're trying to get them fired, make sure they're not cracked and all that. Then the second time around, I kind of work more on trying to get something that works well. But let's see where that one printed. I guess I better work on getting the barrel floated. It's vertically stringing, but with iron sights, that's probably my eyes doing the stringing. The windage is identical to the other 2 shots, and it's just a little bit lower. We're probably looking at maybe 1.5 inches right now. So I'll make sure I'm getting in there, getting a good hold. Looks like I'm holding pretty consistent left to right on that bullseye. The nice pointy pyramid front is doing well for me. I might be hosing up a little bit on the rear, and if you looked a minute ago when I raised this ladder up, I don't think I'm on any kind of a tangent or anything, but this was not all the way down into the groove. It was up just a little bit. I don't think that the steps on that, yeah, this is flat, so that shouldn't have changed the elevation. So that was not a sight change issue. That was just a bozo behind the trigger issue. And then these Chileans, they're pretty interesting. The notches on the side of the sight ladder, they alternate. So when you're on this setting, which happens to be 9, I think, it's catching on the left side. The next one up will catch on the right side. So that next one is up there. The next one up will be on that side. They alternate. It's kind of interesting. So when it's all the way down, this latch is flush, and this one over here protrudes a little bit. And when I first started shooting today, it was actually in the next one up, like that. I'll put it back that way. I don't think it'll make any difference because this does not have a tangent on it. It's flat, and all the adjustment is just done by moving the elevator. Okay, let's try our third shot. I'll be pretty happy if it's up there in the same group. If that's the case, might as well just wrap this up and go home and load more of that load and then figure out where to hold. Because if it's grouping, we'll just accept that and go from there. The other jacketed bullet in here, I think it might be the same bullet. Let's look and see if it's the same bullet. No, this is a lighter bullet. This is a 120 grain Hornady. These are 150. And of course those with that. This is Reloader 15 and a CCI 200 primer. Yeah, so that is not the same bullet, but I believe I have a Ziploc baggie of these 150s. They were a some sort of a batch of bullets at a friend's gun store, and he had a couple Ziploc baggies of them, and I bought them. I think I still have some left. If they're going to shoot like that in this rifle, I guess I'll try to find some more of them at home in my pile. So I say the three that are there, it's almost like I should go take a picture of that before I blow it with a fourth shot, but I'm going to work real hard on this fourth shot and try not to hose it up. Is that cleaning rod migrating out? Yes, indeed it is. And I don't know if that changes the point of impact when it does that. It could, but it hasn't affected us enough here to overcome me on the sights. So probably that little piece of metal in here that is threaded to catch the end of the cleaning rod, that may be not good threads in it. I may have to order a new one of those, or the end of the cleaning rod may not be quite perfect either. So we can certainly get replacement parts for those things. And then the other thing this rifle could stand is a new spring latch for this front ring. It's got some pitting on it, and so that's something that I'd like to get for it. But like I said, I've not taken this one all the way apart yet, even though I've had it for, I don't know, I've probably had it for 5 or 6 years, and I've shot it a little bit, but I need to get it out of the stock and get it cleaned real good. But won't do that before the shoot this Saturday. If I get ammo around for this and I like how it's shooting and I take it down there, we'll leave it as is. And then this is closer yet. So they're stringing. Okay, let's hope that with shot 4 I don't make any dumb mistakes and ruin this. It's a very pleasant rifle. 7x57 is a pleasant cartridge to shoot. I don't know what the velocities are on these. There's no pressure signs at all. I don't even want to look. To have 3 that close together and then have number 4. We got to have confidence though. We'll take the look and see how bad I blew it. The pattern continues. I'm making a crescent. It's just a little bit lower and just a little bit to the right. So they are up in the same area. It's kind of interesting. The rifle is not hot at all, so it's not any kind of a heat thing. It's probably just on and off the gun. So it's this one is just out at 1 o'clock as well. And it's still the same. A little bit down, a little bit right in that string. All right, number 5 might be the shot that tells the tale of the Mauser. But yeah, we're probably looking at 1.5 or 2 inches right now, so it's still, you know, it is grouping. After this shot, we'll go down and take a look, and you can see what it did. It's prescribing like a little bit of an arc. So, and I'll not make a conscious effort to correct that. I could cheat and go left, but I won't. I'll try to do the same hold, and we'll see where it goes. So this may just be an eyesight thing, or the, you know, change in the light as we visit and do the shooting. Let's make sure that rod is still in there. For the next group, I might take that cleaning rod out of there. I don't think that that's having any effect on this. I think this is probably my eyes. But I'm not at all disappointed with what the rifle's doing right now. felt I torqued it like this. That might be what's causing what I'm getting there. These straight stocks, sometimes you can, I felt like when I pulled the trigger, I felt like I twisted it towards me, which would definitely drift me further to the right. So as I've gotten more comfortable on each shot, it's possible that my discipline has been slipping a little bit and I've been hosing that follow through up. Let's see what we got. Yep, I think that's exactly what I did. That shot went well to the right. I think it was me on the follow through. I felt it as soon as I did it. I had the hold that I wanted, and on the trigger pull it was feeling a little heavy, and I think I gave it a little extra when I came through it, and I rolled my wrist. I felt it plain as day, and it did go further to the right. Not far, but a little bit. So that one's on me. Let's go down and take a look at the target. Yeah, walking down range, about 75 yards right now, just about to the 50-yard line. There's the portable bench, or I should say the movable bench. I have a nice fold-up portable one in the truck, but I shot from the fixed 100-yard benches, and it's really dry. This, say we're 8th of June today, and it's been really dry. We haven't had any rain in quite some time, and we had some hot temperatures. It's been cooler the last 2 days, but still no moisture, so you can see it's really taking a toll on the nice pretty green foliage around here. It's dusty too. The kid that's supposed to be mowing my grass on the weekend, he's starting to panic because, you know, he mows lawns to pay for his little tractor, and he may not need to mow this week. So, but yeah, here's our target. Didn't need the whole pizza box. We kept it on the paper, so that's good. But you can see here how I was migrating down with each shot. They were right in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just saw, I didn't watch the video, but I just saw a video that the title was that, you know, don't do 5-shot groups. They're not any more statistically significant than 3-shot groups. Doesn't make any difference. But I'll tell you what a 5-shot group does do. It'll prove how long I can concentrate on my shooting while I'm making a video, because this shot was a mistake. I don't know how much of this was mistakes on the shooter's part or how much it's the rifle dirtying up or whatever else, but a 3-shot group would have been pretty palatable. The 4-shot group got a little worse, which it may have been me or may have been the rifle, don't know, or the ammo. This one was all on me. So, you know, the 5-shot group does give me 2 more opportunities to hose it up. So it may not be significantly, I said that incorrectly. It may not be statistically significant for the load itself or for the rifle itself, but it certainly is significant in demonstrating my lack of ability to concentrate on video for 5 shots, because I hosed this one. But looking pretty good. I think what I'll do is I think I'll try that other ammo. I don't know that I'm gonna film all of that shooting. It's probably getting a little boring and long for my viewers here, so maybe I'll show a picture of that target when I'm done with it. If not, goodbye for now, and I'll figure out what's next with this 1895 Chilean maybe after I shoot those next shots.